Okay, nerds. So, vintage Squee League. We've got a deck in front of us. We've got 3 Poxwalkers today, so we're trimming on 2 traps to make the space, and then this other flex spot as well, which is sometimes a probe, sometimes a trap, um, sometimes a fury. That's also a Poxwalker as well. Okay, post board we've got just the 4 ley lines, and then a bunch of other stuff as well. I haven't got any answers to Sphinx of the Steel Wind in this list, but I don't think we need those at the moment, so that'll be some nice famous last words for us later. But otherwise, it's just the Squee shell, right? 8 forces and a misstep. We've got 2 traps. You've got the Vigors, 8 lizards, 4 Vengevines, 4 hollow ones, and then strip mines and bazaars, plus powders to go and get them. So post board we've got Caracases, that's usually for Lavinias and Atraxas, is when we bring those in. Mindbreak Trap's going to be for Doomsday Jewel and the Beseech deck, other Bazaar decks, random creatures that we want to kill, and Echoing Deeps for the Wasteland decks. So that's what we're going to run through this league this evening, and I'll see you for round 1. Okay, so we are up against Hey Nong Man on a Lurus deck of some variety. We've missed on everything good about our deck, so we're going to powder this away. We've got a Bazaar. We've definitely got 4 power on turn 1 with Lizard Poxwalkers. If we hit a hollow one, we'll have more. If we hit a Lizard, then we'll hold the Poxwalker for a moment. And that's, I think, one difficulty with this deck is that exact point when you are supposed to put Poxwalkers into play over Vengevines or whatever like that. I can't imagine we're ever supposed to do that actually, but no. In spots where you might need your Vengevine to pitch to a Vigor, right, you're going to have to make judgment calls. Like right now, this might be a judgment call that we have to make. This is a perfect example actually, because we've top decked the Vigor. So we're going to activate obviously, but we may want to hold this Vengevine to bink this Saga with. They do have 6 cards in hand, so that might be a bit aggressive, but we need a plan to beat the Saga, and we haven't found one. So I think that sounds like a great plan actually. If we go Poxwalker, Lizard, Lizard, then I'm going to have Force of Vigor pitching Vengevine, and I'm going to have a Force of Negation behind. So we're going to be like on full strip mine mode, and that's going to be nice. And we'll have 5 power nonetheless. So yeah, pretty cool start. I don't know if it's correct, right? I don't know if we want to tap 3-1 or whether we want a Vengevine in play. But the fact that we get to beat up on this Saga is going to be really nice. So, are they holding Lorien somehow? I don't think they can be, right? Oh, they are. But they didn't cycle it on my turn. So maybe they are holding a Force of some variety. So they've kind of got themselves an Underground Sea. And then, do I want to fight this Mox? I don't think so. I think we'll just... Okay, so they've got 3 mana. Oh, another Saga. That's pretty brutal. And they buy Lura. So that's nice for us, because now we don't have to think about Bowmaster this turn. So let's take our draw step. Pray for Wastelands. It's not a Wasteland, but it is more pressure. What do I want to do this in? Because I could discard the Master of Death and hold the Lizard for a future turn. We know they're holding Underground Sea and Lurus, so that's 2 of their 5 cards. Underground Sea and Lurus. Then the advantage of holding Master of Death is I can pitch it. Yeah, I think I'm just going to discard the Lizard and just go for like the most amount of pressure that we can push in. And I can discard Master of Death and draw into nonsense next turn. So this presents another 5 power, which means they're going to 5 next turn. Obviously they're going to have access to a Saga token. But they need something better than what they've got here, I feel like. Yeah, Bowmasters plus a Construct does do a great job of slowing us down. The Underground Sea is gone. I don't think they can realistically put a Lurrus on the stack and have us scared at this point. So, no, yeah, now they're untapping their lands. That looked like Lurrus mana, but I don't think... Obviously Lurrus is good and stuff, but I don't think it's good enough. So we'll hold onto our Bazaar activation and we'll just activate when they put the Bowmaster on the stack. Right. That sounds way better. So Imcon Nerds for 10. They've obviously got a 4/4 blocker if they would like one. But we're just hoping to go wide here. So they're going to take 6. And their token's going to die. Oh, are they going to take less? No, they're going to eat, so they're going to take more damage. Okay. So they go to 6. And I think I'm just going to pass. They've got the Bowmaster available. And then I'm not sure if I'm worried about what they're getting here. Voltaic Key is like quite scary, right? Because that means we're going to have a battle. But if we know about the Lurrus, that's one less card they can have. And they floated... They didn't make a construct. Oh no, they're thinking about making a construct. Okay, cool, right, so they make a construct. And then they might get a Lotus, they get a Manifold Key, okay. I think that's fine. So here comes Lurrus and now we can activate safely. So let's go ahead and do that. We miss on everything ever. So that's fine. And the Bauble I think is going to be fine as well. I might have played this a bit too conservatively. I don't know. So they're going to draw a card up to 4. We're going to pick up all our Squees. And then we can attack with Poxwalkers, I guess is the attack here. I don't think I can realistically attack with the hollow one. So yeah, let's get in with Poxwalkers, see if it wants to trade with a token. No, they just want to take it and go to 3. And then we'll activate our Bazaar of Baghdad and we'll draw a Force of Will. So that's quite nice. And we'll just discard 3 Squeeze. Go to our instep and discard a Serum Powder and have triple permission back up. So basic island, Lurrus is in play. We've got this Bauble which could be annoying. Transmute Artifact. So this just goes and gets the Time Vault, right? So we're going to be fighting this, but what an interesting way of going about that. Sacrifice an artifact if you do search library as blah 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 blah. Cool. So let's force a negation that. They force back, pitching Lorien revealed. Let's force of negation. Your transmute artifact. And they've got 1 card left. Okay. And they cast a Bauble. Sure. So we survived the first scare, and their last card out is a Soul Ring, which means their creatures are going to be bigger than ours, but they probably can't attack too easily. Give Lurrus unblockable. Sure, that makes sense. So I take 3. They gain 3 and go up to 5. And then we're going to get 3 Squeeze, and we're going to have this game under reasonable amounts of control for the moment. They draw a card. So one awkward thing is that Lurrus is just in play. And this is another awkward aspect of the Poxwalker life, right? Is that if I hit another creature off of this activation, I have a Vengevine attacking. And that makes my attack lethal. If I miss, I won't have a Poxwalkers. I've seen 3 lizards, 1 hollow one. So if I attack with everything, a token dies, a hollow one dies. They attack back for 10. They gain 3. And they're at 5 again. So that doesn't work. Do I want to gamble into this Vengevine? I think so. Okay, Bazaar of Baghdad, okay. Something new. Let's play Bazaar. Activate Bazaar. Hit a Vengevine, okay. So let's hold the lizard. And attack with Poxwalkers only. So then we're just trading no life for no life unless they block me. Opponent's turn. They've had 2 cards. They cast a bauble, that's fine. Our graveyard is 4 Squees and some nonsense. Is Lorien revealed hard cast? Oh, PO, no. Oh, what's going on? Paradoxical outcome, which I have to force. They've got 1 card in hand. And that got through. The 2 POs. Well, that's exceptionally fucked up. Never mind. So they drew PO last turn and then this turn as well. That's a shame. I felt like we're in a pretty good spot here. Obviously we've got to wait for them to show us that we're dead. Time Walk. Manifold Key, yeah, cool. Okay. So that was a shame. We got the game under control and then they drew 2 consecutive POs, right? So never mind. Let's bring in a trap, I think, if they're doing a bit of PO nonsense. And then I'm going to bring in 1 questionable Pyro K just because they are going to be a Bowmaster deck somewhere, I imagine. I wonder if that means they've got less wastelands, but they're still a Lorien deck, right? So I need 3 cuts for this. This is going to be one of the tricky things, is do I just cut Poxwalkers every time? Maybe the Pyro K is questionable. Keep a Poxwalker for that. I like the idea of 4 traps and a misstep. So maybe I'll cut one of these and keep a Poxwalker. So I'll go down to 2 Poxwalkers because I do want to try it out. Squee had quite a big weekend, so which I wasn't expecting, I wasn't prepared for. I just vibed around and played some mono white initiative instead. But yeah, no. And then this is a nice powder. And I'm mulligan to 6. And a number of Bazaar of Baghdads. So that's cool. We'll keep this and bottom the powder. I'm not expecting this Vengevine to really get into play. They still have a Lurrus, so they don't have a Leyline. I don't know what I'm supposed to do about this Bazaar. I'll probably just play it and pass, I think. Come up with some fight if I need to. So I think just play and pass a turn is going to be fine for now. Because like the second Bazaar, the Noxious, the Strip, the Force of Will, I want all of those, right? So at the moment we're just on flip things and discard. Whereas if we wait, we can just flip things when we know what we want to fight against, right? So Opponent's playing some artifacts. And Ancestral. So let's respond to the Ancestral. We'll discard Vengevine, Master of Death, and then it's a choice of Strip Mine or Noxious, right? Or maybe the Bazaar. I've just drawn a Squee. Maybe I can discard a Bazaar and I can Noxious that back later whilst maintaining a green card. I think that sounds fine. So that's coming off of a Bazaar. I'm only going to have one Squee once this is done. Anyway, so let's do that. My opponent's only got 2 cards in hand. So let's pop that there. And then they needle me. Sure. So we did maintain a green card for a Vigor, but we are now going to struggle. I guess I'm supposed to just pass and not show the strip. I think that's going to be better. Because then they'll deploy a Saga, right? No, okay. So this is some mana. It looks like a PO for 3. Yeah, no, I don't think that can resolve either. So now the opponent's got nothing. They can buy Lurrus next turn if they want to. That's a Vigor, right? So no, they can't buy Lurrus. Let's kill their Underground Sea. And then in their upkeep we'll bink Needle and Moxjet. I think Needle and Moxjet, Needle and Soul Ring. Something like that. I think it's going to be Moxjet. Because then they're just off of black mana. So they're super far away from playing the Lurrus. And then yeah, I guess they can go. So this is our graveyard, this is their graveyard. They purchase a Lurrus and don't make a land drop. So that's pretty darn great. So we're going to flip our Bazaar and see if we can hit a Squee. We can, which means we don't have to flip upkeep. We can now actually get some selection in our lives. And then our Strip Mine has gone. There's another Vigor which I'm actually kind of interested in. Yeah, I'm going to keep the Vigor because that's going to prepare me for future Pithing Needles coming back if they do get into black-black or black-white for that Lurrus they've just bought. And they've got the one card that they drew last turn. This also protects us against a Saga going forwards. Straight back to us. They can't have Hull Breacher. It's a Lizard. And a Poxwalkers. So let's just get the Poxwalker into play. I know that means we're further away from that Vengevine that's chilling out in our graveyard, but we just need to get our opponent dead so we don't get binked on like we did last game. Unless they've got a flash threat here. Don't know what they could have though. Fairy Mastermind, Snapcaster Mage. They found something. Lurian revealed, which is going to get them into a sea. The sea still doesn't cast Lurrus and their jet's gone. So I feel good about that point at this stage. So let's attack first to try and play a bit around Bowmaster. And then we'll do some activating later when we know more about what they're doing. Do I want to activate now? They've got 4 cards, one of them's at 3 cards now, 4 off the draw step, one of them's a Lurrus. If I activate now, we're forcing them to use their black mana, so they can't play Lurus, which means they can't play Needle. So I think this looks like fine timing in that sense. Yeah. They kill the Poxwalker. Okay. So maybe this was shit, actually. They kill both my other creatures. Maybe it was better just to chill out. Who knows? Give them a draw step. Then they pass the turn to us. This bowman's going to get kind of big, I think. And this Vigor I'm kind of like earmarking for the Needle that's in their yard. Did I bring in the Pyrocane in the end, or did I come off with that idea? Regret. Okay, so I just need to find some lizards. How big do we want this to get? I think fairly big's fine. Let's just do another Bazaar. And let's flip and see if we can get a Vengevine back into play. Yeah, we can. So that's pretty great. We've got a board presence now. They can't attack us. We don't have to activate Bazaar of Baghdad's if we don't want to. We've got Force of Will. Next turn we'll have Force of Will plus Mindbreak Trap. And a butt ton of Vigors as well. So that's cool. And all they've got is a 7/7. Which we can't remove. So they're casting some spells. I'm not sure about the timing on that second activation. Time Twister seems like something I probably can't have resolve. Like Wrath of God plus kill you is kind of annoying. So that just kind of happened. Origami doesn't come in. Do I want to Vigor something? I don't think so. I will pick up all of these cards though. Because I want the blue for Force if I need it. I'm not afraid to go and find the Force later if I have to either. It's a hollow one. I wonder how tall I can make their thing. Yeah. Like how tall can a Origami be and we still be attacking through? It's like the lizards die the moment we activate. Paradoxical outcome. Let's try and get in underneath that. So Pio does nothing. And the island's tapped. So just wondering how I break this, like open. It's probably how, right? Is attack with everything here. So if I attack with everything, you'll then have a 9/9, but I'll have a Vengevine, a Poxwalkers, a Lizard. Yeah, let's just slay with everyone just to try and deal some damage. And then we'll just rebuild our entire board. They're just taking 5. Vengevine's dead. Post combat we'll activate Bazaar. And we'll discard Squee, Lizard, Squee. Bowmaster hits me for 2. Oh no, It's going to clear up my lizards, that's fine. Lizard, sure. Okay. We cast this one, which is like a nice chump blocker for their 9/9. We cast this hollow one, which brings back the Vengevine. And it's over to them, and we've got a negation and a fairly good board to go with it. So, it might not have been the best attack in the world, but it was an attack that we've made. I wouldn't hate a wasteland just to really kind of bury them, but Noxious Revival. I can't really Noxious any of their things, can I? Their things look a bit strong. So what do we attack with here? So if I attack with everything that's not a lizard, they're forced to chump with the bowman. And then if they chump with the bowman, then we can... Oh, motherfuckers. So that kills my lizard. Chump blocks are Poxwalkers, I guess. And then they always have one Bowmaster in play. So then if I Noxious a Force of Will, I go to 10. I activate Bazaar. My Poxwalker dies. I force this, I'm at 9. They have a 12/12. 11/11. I have no lizards. And if I let it resolve, they kill the lizard and attack for exactly 12. So I have to respond to this, right? So I have to go and get my Force of Will. Or I could have got a lizard, actually. Maybe that was way better. None of this is particularly nice. Kills and kills. Let's Force of Will this now. So that gets through. We'll let that one happen. We'll let that one happen. And then I think I'll let them block. Now I'm like flipping for a lizard, right? I find a hollow one. So let's discard this, and discard this Master of Death. They have a 13/13, and that's just a fact of life. Yeah, they come at my face, that's fine. Play a Wasteland, cast a hollow one. Wasteland your Underground Sea. Plays a Ruby. Time Vault's fine. They come in for 13. You kind of have to, right? There's no chance you can't, yeah. I have to block. We are going to have them on chump blocks though. And us on just flipping cards to find a lizard. So Draw step is a wasteland. Let's attack first because I just can't take much more damage this game. You must block me. And then let's activate Bazaar of Baghdad. That doesn't do anything. Activate Bazaar of Baghdad. Find a hollow one. Discard Master of Death. Force negation. Mindbreak Trap. That makes sense, right? Yeah. Play a Wasteland for Tabernacles and Sagas. Cast a hollow one. One of their cards is Lurus, so they can't counter that. Over to them. They've got 13-13 and they concede. Nice. That was a sweaty game, wasn't it? So let's go to sideboarding. I think I want that Pyro K in. Our Poxwalkers did look good, didn't it? Maybe I don't need to be so heavy on the traps. We haven't seen any sort of strip mine from them, so I'm going to trim another Noxious. That might be like nonsense. We might need to be Noxiousing, but just as we build a better understanding of their deck, which I could just look up, but you know, well, this is not the hand we dreamed of, but it is a hand of cards. So, opponents revealed a Lurus. Mana Crypt, wow, tasty. Laggy Modo is laggy. They cycle a Lorien. And they play a Jailer. Okay, that's fine. So we've got one Pyro K in our deck. It's always tough because I don't ever expect them to have like many creatures, you know. So we will discard the Vengevine. We'll save that guy for later. Can't imagine this Jailer's going to be in play for the whole game. Maybe it is, but they do take 3, which is some justice. They've got a Flooded Strand. So I might just play a Wasteland and then maybe I just pass. Like, all my cards are cool. We're not really under pressure. One thing to bear in mind about the Yixo Jailer though is that does mean that that probably needs to be shot, but I don't think I can afford to. I don't know, I think I've played these last 2 turns poorly. No attacks is cool for us. I'm going to take one more draw step with my Bazaar. No, I'm just going to activate it. They're going to play a Bowmaster. Yeah, we do need to be careful with our Squees, right? Because they're not actually going to come back to us. Okay, you got a Bowmaster. Ugh. I'm just going to discard my Bazaar. I'm going to play a Wasteland. I think I'm just going to fire these off on their Underground Seas. Because I've got the Strip Mine rolled up for the Saga, I've got the Force of Vigor rolled up for the Saga. I don't want them buying and playing a Lurus next turn. They've got another C, which is fine. And an activation on the top. So we've not found any red cards. we've only got the one Pyrokinesis in our deck. They have a bunch of power in play, and we've failed at finding creatures in the first 15 or so cards. So they do buy Lurrus this turn. That might mean I want to Vigor them, or do I want to strip them? I don't know. I am just also dying, which is quite an issue. That's a Poxwalkers, which doesn't really do a lot for us here, and I think I need to activate to find Pyrokinesis. Well, this just looks fucking hopeless. How do we ever win from this spot? That's my question for you. I think the answer is we probably just don't. I don't want to discard my Squee. I like my Strip Mine. I like my Vigor. I guess I just discard Negation. I don't think that's great, but I think that's where I'm at. So I take 2 here, going to 7. I have a Lizard, they have a 5/5. It doesn't sound like it's fantastic for us. I'm not going to strip that because they just... Oh no, I've got a negation for a Saga. And then... I can't take 5, can I? Because... Well, if I take 5, I have to just commit to top decking the other card. They're only going to attack with this one. Yeah, if I take 5, I just have to assume I'm top decking Pyrokinesis, which isn't true. There's another Squee. So what I need to activate this, hit Lizard Pyrokinesis. Yeah, no. And we don't, so we die. So that's game 1. I'm going to restart, or match 1. I'm going to restart my Magic Online because we're lagging out pretty hard. I feel like game 1 we had on quite good luck, and then they drew 2 POs in a row. And sometimes that happens. Game 2 we did win. It got a bit shaky in the middle. We were in great control and then we weren't. And then game 3 they had turn 1 Jailer and a Bowmaster to put the pressure on. So maybe I sideboarded wrong. Maybe I'm supposed to have more removal than I actually had. I must admit I wasn't expecting Jailer out of them. I was thinking they'd just be Needles and Soul Guides because they're a Saga deck. But yeah, we'll go to round 2. Okie dokie nerds, so we're up against the Innistrad Revenue Service for game match 2. And we're going to have a Powder to start with. Okay, we have an opponent and a Powder. And then a mulligan 2/6. And we'll keep this one. This is quite a cool hand. We are on the draw. We'll bottom one of these revivals, I think. Keep the engine, keep the first revival. We didn't have an interaction with them on turn 1, and they have kept 7 cards, which is kind of annoying. There's a Lotus 7 as well. Good God. So we'll need something good, I guess. They've not revealed a Lurrus, which kind of makes me happy. They have revealed a Lotus, which kind of makes me sad. So that's... Oh, fuck me dead. Okay. That's certainly an opener that you can have. Cool. So we just waste the waste? Or do we try and activate and get into this game? I think I need to activate because I think they're shops and I need to find a blue card here. Okay. Figure's quite cool. So Squee, Poxwalkers, Force of Will. Makes sense to me. And then upkeep, we're going to Vigor Pitching Lizard. Vigor Pitching Lizard. Cage is dead. We've got a revival. Ancient Tomb. Patchwork's fine, I think, provided there's not too many follow-ups. And you wasteland me. I revival my Bazaar. Or do I just wasteland them? Well, I probably do both anyway. Yeah. I think I want an untapped Poxwalkers as soon as possible. So let's discard these two for sure. And then I don't think Trap's going to be online this game. So we'll just hold the Force of Will with the intention of finding a blue card later. Poxwalkers comes back. I've got a Lizard. They've got 4 cards in hand after their draw step, and we've got to come up with a way of winning. We need to find some more engine cards. We need them not to have much more in their life like that. Yeah. And how many Moxen have they slow rolled? Looks like none. Okay. So that's not great, but it's not bad. How do we feel about Wasteland? They didn't miss a land drop. Which means they still might be able to Saga me. So I guess I slay all the Wasteland. There we go. They're getting for 1. Oh, a green card as well. I'm just going to waste them. Yeah. And come in for 4. Maybe I could have wasted the Ancient Tomb. No, I think the Ancient Tomb is kind of helpful at the moment. It's another Ancient Tomb. Is this a load zone? Yeah, cool. So opponent is at 6. Their Patchwork's a 2/2. We can't cast spells. Patchwork I can't imagine is coming in. Do I want to attack for 3? I trade with a Patchwork. I need to draw a Bazaar. I need to draw a Wasteland. I need to draw everything. So if I get in with Poxwalkers, they block with Patchwork. Then they have a lodestone and I die in 4 turns. Or I can just watch, and I guess just not attacking's better, right? Because then I'm then able to control the trade-off with the lodestone. Their Ancient Tombs are going to die soon anyway. That's a Wasteland, that's fine. Unless this is Golos, at which point that's not fine. Cool story. Golos will probably find Tabernacle. So Wasteland is kind of messed up here. Because then I get to Wrath their board. Well, if this comes in, that can't ever attack. Surely not. My creatures die. A Wasteland off the top is like our best draw, I think, so then we get to Wrath their board. Nope. So I get to keep one of these cards in play. I presume the Lodestone. They also presume the Lodestone. They've got no mana for the rest of the game, so it's... Well, they can make a land drop, right? But... Never Mox Pearl. And now we just get attacked a bunch. Workshop. Makes a Revoker. Oh yeah, I still can't cast my spells, can I? So we go to 7 and we're dead next turn, so we need to find exactly Bazaar. And we don't. So we lose. Cool. So yes, so Squee had a good weekend, and I'm still struggling to work out why. We're on the play. I don't really like Furies and stuff. I don't think they do anything. 2 traps out. 2 deeps in. Misstep is better than trap versus needles. I think I'm just going to register this. Like, the reason I'm not bringing in the removal spells is because their creatures are Patchwork, Revoker, Nettle Cyst. Nettle Cyst doesn't really die to the 4 damage burn spells. Patchwork doesn't die to the 4 damage burn spells. Golos doesn't die to it. It's literally just Lodestone and Revoker. And those don't... They either don't matter or they just kill us, right? So, a bit tough. Okay, so game 2 up against Shops. More Bazaars than God, which is cool. We'll keep this. We've got 2 easy discards, right? The Vengevine and the Powder. The Lizard we don't know about just yet. Depends on if we find another creature. I think where I've got 2 Bazaars, I can afford to mess about and wait to get better power into play. What's the discard here, though? Maybe it's just one of the Bazaars. Yeah, I'll still have 2 Bazaars. I've then got a green card, which can be another Bazaar. I've got something that can be a Strip Mine. I can draw into Force of Vigor for Revival. I can draw into blue card for Force of Will. And I've got my Lizard here in case I find a Poxwalkers or if I find another creature. So, oh, they're not going to Wasteland me, which sounds weird. Sphere of Resistance, sure. Force of Vigor. Alright, I'll cast a Vigor. I've got more Bazaars than ever I could ever need, so let's Vigor these 2 permanents. Pay 1, pitch my Revival. If they Wasteland me this turn, I'm not against spinning, I don't think. I can discard this Force of Will if I need to. Or I can just take a draw step and have an easier discard. But it's the same number of cards, right? Yeah. I like it. I hate it. I hate it. Cool, I'll have a 1-1 in play then, I guess. Let's discard the Wasteland and hold the Misstep. How does that sound? Sounds shite. No, I'm going to do it anyway, because I just don't want them to go land Needle, you know? That would be really annoying. And this Misstep can just get discarded next turn if it needs to. Strip Mine. Yeah, got him. So we get a draw step. We get a Strip Mine. We're not going to expose our Bazaar just yet. Oh, Strip Mine, your Strip Mine? I guess I have to. I know they can Saga me, but I feel like I need to do that so that I can actually deploy my Bazaar next turn. And maybe have it stick around. Cool. Let's go to round 3. Okay, round 3 we're up against Michelino and or Michelino. Je ne sais pas. Let's powder this. 2 bazaars, 7 cards. Let's find what dope way we can lose this time round. So, opponent plays a Scalding Tarn, a Lotus Petal. No Lurus revealed. What does Scalding Tarn Lotus Petal mean? Underworld Breach? We'll roll out the Chalice. It might just get forced. Oh no, it didn't. That's fun. No fetch on the Scalding Tarn. They have a Misty. What is going on over there? It's one of those weird things where it could, it could still be Doomsday. Who really knows? So let's activate Bazaar. Let's discard. Squee, Vengevine, Lizard. And let's play a Bazaar. And if we draw a blue card, I'm going to discard Bazaar, Lizard, Wasteland. I'm still going to hold on to this Force of Will. We're going to get in for 8 this turn. Unless something happens here. Nope. Okay. I still don't know what our opponent's doing. Could be Oath of Druids. Would Oath of Druids play a Petal? I could see a world where it would want to. But they can't fetch now and deploy Oath. How aggressively do I want to vigor this Petal? Thundering Falls, what the fuck does that mean? Is it an island? It doesn't know. So they like that card on top. Sure. That's fine. Scalding Tarn. We're just going to get Show and Told. Sprite Dragon. Okay. So it's going to be one of those breach lists. We get a Squee back. So activates this Bazaar. How much do I care about Vigor in this spot? I probably still want to sandbag it, right? I don't think they're Sagaing. I don't think Wasteland affects me. I'm just trying to work out how much I care about this strip mine. I don't think I do at all. I think I care about having Vigor open in case they try and breach me. I'm going to attack for some damage here. And then I'm going to cast a Hollow One. Sprite Dragon chumps. They're at 4. I'll play a Hollow One anyway. And now they've got to kill my Chalice and combo off. That sounds tough. Maybe it's actually just better to discard the Hollow One and play the Strip Mine. Really. but it looks tough out there for the opponent, and they agree. Okay, so we win a game. I don't know if I've done that recently. Let's bring in... Do I want to bring in Leyline of the Void? I could do. I definitely could do that. They didn't reveal Lurus, did they? So they're probably not like a... They're probably more of like a house deck, which means we can't ever let Tinker resolve. I like the traps. I think I'll just trim a Poxwalkers and a Squee, and then call it a day. And then if they show me something different this game, like their entire deck with Underworld Breach, or are they just like a tempo deck? If they're just a tempo deck, then I mean, typically we're the better tempo deck when it comes to that sort of thing. Also, I think, unless they're a tempo deck with access to Wasteland, but I don't know. If you've gone so deep to play the Surveil land, are you on Wasteland really? Because you don't have that many slots for mana producing lands after Waste and Sagas, right? So another double Bazaar 7-card hand. Oh no, it's a 6-card hand. This is awful. So 7 cards, no Lurus. So we've probably got to keep Vigor and bottom Squee. Like, we can get punished by this, right? Because we'll have a card that we don't want to discard. But yeah, look at that. That's a Leyline of the Void. Well done us on that front. And then see if they've got any more hate. If this is a needle, we come across the whole thing of, do I misstep the needle? It's just a preordain. Right, you can have your preordain, that's fine. So we're going to draw a card for the turn. We're going to activate. We're going to have to keep any green card over this Bazaar. I think there's a good chance our Bazaars are like kind of under threat or something, you know. Another hollow one. That's interesting. Derpy derp. So Bazaar, Lizard. And now we're just in pain. Do we just discard Force of Will? Yes, we discard Force of Will. We come off any intention of fighting their combo. We accept in this spot that we're losing to their Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale. And we just put 9 power into play. And if they tab us, they tab us. And if they needle us, we misstep it. And then when they force back, we can Vigor everything. So, that's the game plan. These are the 2 hollow ones. Over to you. Scalding Tarn is not a Tabernacle. So like, obviously discarding the Force of Will is tough because we're not really fighting their combo stuff, but it might just give us the time. Wasteland's the best draw in the deck, but we don't really have the luxury to go activating our Bazaar with no engine going. Next turn we'll be able to do that to get some selection. We'll get in for our 9 now. I don't think I can justify activating here. They go and get their Surveil land, I guess. And if they top it with off their Surveil land, I'm going to Noxious their Scalding Tarn. No, they put a Volk into the yard. Do I still want to put a Volk into the yard? That's the big question. Let's do it on their upkeep. Here you go, grab yourself a Scalding Tarn. Yeah. Well, the Scalding Tarn fixes for Vigor, not Vigor, for Tinker. But I think that's fine. So I'm going to draw Scalding Tarn for the turn. We do have access to flip for Force of Will here. So one of their cards is Scalding Tarn. They liked the card underneath. No, they didn't like the card underneath. They don't know the other one. Shattering Spree. Replicated how many times? Two replicates. So I just misstep the one that's targeted once. I haven't seen a Shattering Spree in a good minute, to be honest. So the one on the right is targeted once there. The one on the left once there. The one on the left. So I misstep this one. They don't have a response. This hollow one dies twice. That Shattering Spree fizzles. Got him. And now we attack for 5. And then we'll probably just flip and try and find a wasteland, I think. Yeah, I still think I want to find a wasteland. And I can get up and hold Vigor open right here. That's a wasteland though, so we're going to do this and hold up Trap instead. Let's get him for 5. You go to 4. So they're dead next turn. I've got a Wasteland to protect against Tabernacle. They've got 3 cards in hand. One of them's a Scalding Tarn. And they've conceded the match. We won a match. Let's go. That was a bit more cruisy, right? Because this was a bit more, I don't know, 2021, 2022 vintage, where your opponent's playing, you know, some just blue, red, cantrippy pile, and you're a better blue-red cantrippy pile, right? Like my lands are cantrips. I don't have to waste time on Thundering Falls and Volcanic Islands. Obviously, they've got broken starts that they can like tinker us or something like that. But this was usually what we kind of did well against, I think. These non-wastelanding blue Durdle decks. Okay, round 4 up against PL. They've revealed a Lurrus. We've not revealed a Bazaar. So that's mulligan to 6. And then to 5. Not great, not great. Now we'll powder. We'll get rid of... Oh, what are we getting rid of? Yeah, guess just a little off the top. Actually, I think the squeeze are kind of bad when your wastelands are... When your opponent's on 5 wastelands. Now we'll go to 4. Then to 3, and then to 2. We'll keep this. I'm going to bottom everything. That's not a Bazaar of Baghdad. How's that as a plan? So play Bazaar, get stripped, play Bazaar. They've revealed a Lurrus. Obviously we're very far behind. They mulligan to 6. Let's play this Bazaar. And then I think I'll flip towards their end step just because then I can hold up misstep. Oh no, I can't misstep and flip, can I? I've done this before. They've got strip mine. Okay, let's activate Bazaar then. And those cards can go away. We didn't hit any squeeze, which is a shame. But we do have the second Bazaar here. So let's play that and pass the turn. Again, we'll flip in response to a Wasteland just to get this Lizard into play and maybe a Poxwalkers or something. They have an Urza's Saga and a Manifold Key. And now I don't think I'll flip it over because I want to be able to have some selection over like a Wasteland or something. Another Bazaar. Yeah, I think I'm just going to pitch the Bazaar, keep the Strip Mine, play the 2 Lizards. Strip Mine the opponent. And pretend that we've got a clock. Let's strip this nerd. And then, yeah, we've got no cards in hand. They've got 4 of them. And they don't do anything, so it's unlikely that we should do anything here. That's a Noxious Revival if we want to pick something up in a moment. But for now we'll just do our 2 damage at a time. We'll get some cards flowing, or some cards in hand. They'll do the same, but Orcish Bowmasters is already a Wrath of God, so I don't think we need to stress too much about that. But that's going to be a Time Vault, which is a problem. How do I beat Time Vault from this spot? I don't. Yeah, I kind of just don't, right? I top deck Vigor. That's what I do. Well, they've just missed a land drop. So we could top deck Vigor, or we could top deck the Strip Mine. Top decking the Strip Mine, stripping the island, I guess. Then we're just like dead to Mox. Good God. I guess I'm just supposed to try and top deck a Vigor and pray. They missed a land drop, so maybe they haven't got anything other than just like play Time Vault pass a turn. I can't really activate now that I'm looking to find 2 cards, right? And I'm hoping my opponent's turn is just play Time Vault pass the turn. Then next turn we can activate and go from there. So 6 cards in hand is just so many cards. So they cycle Lorien, which is going to lock up the additional mana for the future. Plays Underground, rolls out Time Vault. Did you find a Mox? No. So we get this 1 activation and then the prayer that they don't have Force of Will somehow. Mindbreak Trap doesn't do anything. None of that does anything. Cool. So, I think we decided last time that we did want a few more of these. I think trimming a Poxwalkers, maybe trimming a Revival, maybe trimming a Trap, something like that. Maybe both the traps. This might be over the top now, but we'll see. Okay, so game 2 against Piao. Let's see what we can do. If anything, I guess. So we can mulligan to 6, that's a good start. And then to 5. And to 4. I feel like the last game in game 1 I don't know, for a 2 card hand we did an okay showing. How many is this? This is 3. So that's bottom Fury. Oh no, come back Squee, you're like the whole joke. Let's keep these. Right, so second Bazaar and some engine to build back into this game. Maybe that's like a bit of a joke, but... And I'm just going to end step the Bazaar just because then it looks like we've got something, and we can also make decisions if we need to. I can't imagine coming off this revival, to be honest. But we might be able to find another Squee or something. That's just a Scalding Tarn, which usually means it's a bit more of a needle start for the opponent. Or a Bowmaster start. I can't imagine they've got neither of those. Like, they've got to have like Jailer, Needle. Soul Guide, I guess, is another option. Opponent's having a nice little think. Maybe they've just got Time Walk into like one of those like slightly more hateful pieces. They just get to develop for free. I don't know. We've mulliganed pretty low. I'm going to flip on end step regardless. I don't care about Bowmaster. I just want to get this Squee building cards and maybe more cards from the Squee sort of thing. So yes, they've got the Bowman. So maybe we could have played around this by Bazaring main phase. But that's okay. So, yep, they've got a Bowmaster. So I do kind of wish that I'd Bazared main phase. But I just felt like the opportunity to see them put Needle on the stack and then we... Ooh. It's kind of fucked up, isn't it? So what does that do for us? Yeah, I guess I keep Pyrokinesis and see if I can get through here. And if I do, then that's great. This might be wrong. It might just be better to wait, sort of thing. But I can pick this up. I can pitch this to these two. And I can flip my Bazaar and start again. That's all on my upkeep. That's a Poxwalkers and a Chalice, which I'll just roll out, I think. And now I'm exceptionally dead to Strip Mine. But I don't think they can have Strip Mine, right? Just if you went Island Bowmasters, that's a lot worse than just stripping me. Especially when I mulligan to 3. So that would be my point of view. But obviously my opponent can have anything, I think. So cast Soul Ring off Jet. Tutors for a land. I didn't pop up with anything, but they got an Underground Sea. Now they've got mana floating, so they could buy Lurrus if they wanted to. And we'd be dead if they get Lurrus Bowmaster going. So that would be difficult. Yeah, no, credit to the people who did well with Squee this weekend. I don't know what they paired into, but this has been like a league of torment, really, hasn't it? So we're paying some costs, and yeah, we're buying Lurrus. That's fine. So I get to flip an upkeep, maybe bring back a Poxwalker. It's a hollow one, perfect. And a Force of Negation. So they play Lurrus. If they've got a black source, then we can actually just concede, because Lurrus Bowmaster is going to be really quite impossible for us to overcome with our just lack of resources. I might have lost this game on that Pyrokinesis play. It might just be better to try and build up cards and go from there. Who knows? Lurus Time Walk into Bowmaster's cool. I'm going to call it there just because I'm not booting back this Bowmaster lock. Even if I do get to put some pressure in play, they can just infinitely block with the Bowmaster. And with that Wasteland as well, it's completely over. So let's go to round 5 and see if we can improve upon this train wreck that we're currently experiencing. Okie dokie, 5th and final round. Let's see if we can round this one out with a win. We're playing against Golo's Tireless Skier. We're going to play first, and we're going to powder our hand away. And we're going to mulligan to 6. And then we're going to mulligan to 5. But they get an option as well. So, looks like they've kept 7. We'll mulligan. Oh, come on, Magic Online. You can do it. Alright, and there's a Bazaar. So let's keep this hand. We're on 5, so let's discard a negation and a negation, I guess. Yeah, I like that. So that gives me 2 squeeze and a hollow one. If I can find something else to discard here, then that means I'll have negation up on 1. So let's go for that as a general strategy going forwards. Yeah, and we get to discard a Poxwalkers. We'll have 2 squeeze. We might not have a Bazaar of Baghdad, but that's fine. We will have a 4/4 and a negation. So, see what they're on first of all. No Lurus revealed, which you love to see. Typically that makes our lives a bit easier, or at least that's my opinion. And opponents having a nice little think on their turn 1. Age-old question of do we snap off a Force of Negation on a Lotus here? I guess they are Chrome Mox. So this is going to be Oops or Mono White. If it's Oops and they've got something better than Chrome Mox, we would be in trouble. If it's not Oops and it's Mono White, then maybe binking the Chrome Mox is the answer to all of our problems. I think you kind of have to lean towards this Mono White here, and just assume that nobody on God's Green Earth is going to register Oops all spells. They had a Mox Pearl, an Ancient Tomb, an Anointed Peacekeeper. So, motherfucker. Well, I mean, they had that all the time, right? We're never getting around that. Just they have an extra card is all. So we'll pick up our 2 squeeze. Pray for Force of Will. Nope. And attack for 4. But that is potentially reasonable. If we can go 5 more turns and discard this lizard, we will get 3/1 Death Touch. That's what I mean by potentially reasonable. Now that I've thought it through, it doesn't actually sound hopeful at all against an opponent with 5 cards. So, what a brutal league this has been. In they come for 3. And a White Plume. Okay, so we get 1 more attack, and then we are in trouble. Oh, so Wasteland Map is not sure. It was already dead. How can you kill what is already dead? Mental misstep. Let's attack. See if they let me tutor a land. And if they forge onto the White Plume, we can kind of keep playing. And if they don't forge onto the White Plume, we can just go to the next game. If they forge onto the Peacekeeper, right? Because then we can never remove it from the board. Well, it's already here, actually. We can't remove it now at this point. Although they've removed our Bazaar as well. So maybe we're just cold, actually. This White Plume's one of these 2 cards are going to get in for 5, then we're going to get trapped, then it's going to get in for 5 again. So, peak savagery. They give me the initiative for a day, which means they're getting for less damage. We're going to go to 9 this turn. But then they untap their 5/5. They've got 8 power blockers. I can't activate a Bazaar. Yeah, this is just like peak garbage time, isn't it? So what's our sideboard going to look like? It's going to look like 5 Furies coming in. Yeah, drop a bunch of blue cards, bring in Caracas, Deeps, Furies, and Pyros. So they've got a 5/5. We can't ever put a creature into play. Let's go to the next one. Actually, let's let them finish their turn just in case they show us something spicy. So Ruby, Cavern, and another white plume. Cool. Well, to game 2 we go. I think the negations can go, the forces can go, the misstep can go. That makes space for these 9 cards. And I think 3 Poxwalkers is better than 4 traps. The question is Caracas, right? Caracas hits exactly Thalia. So what if I brought in Mindbreak traps? I need to keep Vigors in case they have ley lines. Caracas, though, is mana for Tabernacle, mana for Peacekeeper. So I think maybe it's supposed to be the other way around. No, I think I'll keep it like this for this game. And if we do win this, then we'll swap the Caracas round. So we've got more traps on the draw. So that was a mulligan because there was nothing good in our hand. This is going to be a powder, and we're just going to put probably a Vigor or a red Squee on the bottom. I think a Vigor, just so we've got 3 in case they've got ley lines. Let's keep this. This hand looks fantastic. And let's go with just turn 1 Chalice. And then just play a Bazaar and pass. But let's think it through. What am I discarding? Nothing. Well, the Vigor's probably a discard at this point. Maybe I didn't want to play my Bazaar here. Maybe it was just like Chalice go. Get more cards before I get wastelanded, that sort of thing. But I always struggle with just like I don't play any cards, it's your go sort of thing. So that's Nymeria tapped. Cool. So wastelands are good. That's a wasteland, that's nice. Maybe Vigors are bad, so let's activate and see if we can come up with something. So yeah, let's just discard the 3 easy discards. The Vigors are bad, right, because they don't have spells. They don't have... We have a Chalice, they can't put artifacts into play anymore. So our Vigors are now dead because they didn't play a leyline either. I think I'll just waste them, actually. That sounds fun. And pass the turn. And the next turn we can like Echoing Deep's Wasteland. And they name Human off of that Cavern of Souls. I think I'm going to Echoing Deep's Wasteland, which I know is tapped. I appreciate that. And then next turn we can... So we won't activate Bazaar now. Next turn we can activate to dig into the Fury. And Wasteland them. So it's another Cavern. This time naming nothing. An empty cavern. Nobody home. So this game looks like a reasonable position for us to win. It just depends on how many mana sources they've got. They've named Archon. They named player Thalia. I just don't care about Thalia. And they've named Archon. So we can probably just like chill. I don't know. Can we chill more than we've already chilled? We took a whole turn off Bazaar. No, I don't think we can chill. So let's activate this Bazaar. Holy hell. Alright, I'm going to come off the other bazaar and pray for a red card just to peel itself off the top if I get wasted. And people haven't played many Tabernacles recently, but I'm just still going to play around it. These are my hollow ones. Over to you. And by play around it, I mean I'm not just going to waste them randomly. They've named Archon. I've got Archon covered with this Fury. So if they go land Archon, that's fine. If they don't go land Archon, they have a 2-1, I've got 2 4/4s. And we get to play around Tabernacle. So we're another turn away from... Well, no, we're not. We'll activate on end step and then try and pick up some cards. I'm just going to slay with everything. Just absolutely no real reason not to. Yeah, because now they take 10, or they pitch a billion cards to Solitude. And I'm fine with that. You know, the billion cards to Solitude side of things. So no, they're not able to do that. And then end step will flip some cards. It's an Ancient Tomb. So it's an Archon of that style. Yeah, Archon of Absolution, which people do tend to love. Despite it just like dying. It's kind of annoying. So let's pick up our master. And there's another red card. So perfect stuff. Cast Fury and win the game. Yeah, opponent concedes. So that was a bit more cruisy than game 1. I think game 2, we're going to drop a Chalice and we're going to bring in a Mindbreak Trap, and we're going to drop a Caracas and we're going to bring in a Mindbreak Trap. And that way we've got a bit more protection against their turn 1. Well, apparently not. But this is still a keep, unfortunately. Not unfortunately. We've got 2 Bazaars and a Quick Clock, but just like turn 1 Peacekeeper is just going to be annoying. We'll keep this. They reveal a chance of the Annex. So Chrome Mox probably exiling the Chancellor, yeah. And then Cavern. Cavern names Human. And they play Thalia, which is fine. So another Echoing Deeps, which is just even more Bazaars. And then we get the downside of Pyrokinesis, but that's fine. We can discard Squee Powder Lizard and cast it. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's great. Well done, Lizard. And now we'll make a 4/4. They've got 3 cards in hand, so they've gone kind of deep, but like this is a turn where they play like good spells, right? Like Thalia is just a bridge. She's not ineffective, but she's kind of fine to overcome, I find, because she's quite small. So it's not hard for the game to go on for a few turns, and then we gradually decrease their life total. And then they have to end up chump blocking, which unlocks all our spells, which kind of closes the door. All that can be a relatively common play pattern, because the deck does go, by the deck I mean mono white, it does go low on creatures and stuff. That is not low on creatures, that is exceptionally messed up. So we'll get a Squee back to our hand. And then we'll activate Bazaar, because we're going to be able to spend some time here developing some mana. So let's just play a Wasteland and attack for 4. So any world where I want to waste their Ancient Tomb, waste their Ancient Tomb, play an Echoing Deeps as Wasteland, play an Echoing Deeps as Wasteland. By then, if I've still got my Bazaar, I would have definitely drawn another land, right? I'd play infinite lands. I'm actually kind of tempted by that as a line. It's quite slow to get out of this Trinosphere, but it's far more likely that we just tempo them out than and lock them under the sphere than it is anything else, I think. But we have got the mana to build back into it, right? And wasting them means that I can play my Echoing Deeps tapped and do some other nonsense. So post-combat, do you have another land? It looks like it, based on the fact that we're having a think. Yeah, Cavern of Souls. Naming Cleric. That's upsetting. We were hoping there was nothing. Plough me. Okay. That's fine. Because I've still got an active Bazaar. So like not great for the home team, but not the end of the world. I'm going to discard a trap, I think. I'm never casting it, right? Let's play an Echoing Deeps, and there's no reason why I can't point at this Ancient Tomb. Well, that was sick. I've now got an Ancient Tomb. And then let's get Echoing Deeps. Pyriothalia. Please don't have something too good. So Anointed Peacekeeper is like a lock that it has to name Pyrokinesis, right? Otherwise they just like lose quite hard. And they named Bazaar. Well. But what about the fact that your creatures are dead? So we'll pick these guys up. Draw for the turn, it's a Poxwalkers. Play Echoing Deeps. Select no. Pyrokinesis these two. Exile Squee. And then we'll activate this and we'll discard Vengevine. Ooh, no, maybe not. We'll discard Poxwalkers, Squee. And then we'll pass. We've got to fade a couple of draw steps from the opponent here. But we have built into this. Archon of Emiria I think is fine because that can die later. Ancient Tomb. Also not a massive drama in my opinion. We get 2 squeeze. Our life total is going to be under duress at some point in this game, but that sounds fine to me. I've got 8 cards in hand. I'm just going to discard Mindbreak Trap. So let's discard Mindbreak Trap. Upkeep, we're going to kill Chrome Mox and Trinosphere. And I'm going to just pitch the Lizard. Because I think there's good outs to finding a red card. Why are you floating mana? You've got no cards. We've all got lives. Okay, so opponent gets a draw step. We go to 9. And then we'll get an end step activation with this Master of Death. Oh yeah, they've got nothing. We find a Squee and a Fury. So I'm going to bring back my Vengevine this turn. All sounds great. It all sounds great. So we're at 8. Let's just lead on Fury. Fury at Archon. Kaboom. Blow that up. Activate Bazaar. And then just bury our opponent in triple Vengevine. And I think we'll just play Wasteland. Noxious Etrinosphere. And call it a day. And that's a match in what was quite a rough league. I think, yeah, if we're playing against mono white and other Bazaar decks and thirdly blue decks, it's all good. But those Lurrus matchups, I still appreciate that they are a bit more combo-y. I spoke to Pro Midnights, who came 11th and top 32 the other challenge. Had a good run over the weekend with Squee. I'm still not convinced about our Lurrus matchups. I think there's just too many Lurrus decks for us to... Well, for me at least, to be confident in registering Squee for a weekend sort of thing for the challenges. That's why I've been on Dredge so much recently. But I think this league kind of showcased the strengths and weaknesses of this deck, right? Those 5 Wasteland decks are rough. Like Shops is really tough because they tax all your spells. So like everything's a must counter against Shops. The Lurrus decks just have too much nonsense, I think. And I've not come up with a good game plan against them at all when thinking about Squee. But yeah, when we played against like an old looking Sprite Dragon Tempo deck, you know, our deck cruised because it's just a bit leaner. And then we played against mono white and that was sick. So, I mean, that round 1 opponent, I think they drew well. I'm not saying they got lucky, but I think game 1 we had quite a good hold on. But PO as 2 draw steps, 2 from 2 was a bit too much. And that's fair enough, that happens. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching me get crushed. And I'll see you again soon for some more, probably, Bazaar of Baghdad.